thanks so much. Coming up, liftoff for Brownsville, Texas. Elon Musk's SpaceX commits to building a commercial space launch facility in that town that borders Mexico. I'll speak to Brownsville's mayor when Bottom Line continues in just a moment. Brownsville, Texas is basking in a futuristic glow. Last month, SpaceX, the commercial space transport firm headed by Elon Musk, announced plans to build a launch pad just east of the city. What are the economic benefits, and what will the facility mean for America's space exploration goals? The mayor of Brownsville, Texas, Tony Martinez, joins me from Bloomberg's Houston bureau. Mayor Martinez, welcome to Bottom Line. Thank you for your time today.
Well, thank you for having us, Mark.
Mr. Mayor, the decision to build the SpaceX launch site near Brownsville, it's being called strategic. In what way and why in your city?
Well, I think geographically we're perfectly positioned for this opportunity to begin with. But by the same token, we also have worked really diligently over the last 3 years to hopefully begin what I would call the origins of a space hub in Texas and in Brownsville.
Mr. Mayor, this project, it's been 3 years in the making. Tell us what it's going to mean in terms of jobs in Brownsville and in economic growth.
Well, you know, first of all, you're going to have some capital improvement of close to $85 million to begin with. You're going to have construction jobs, and then you're going to have probably about an annual payroll of about $50 million that will be generated once the construction is completed, which we hope will be between 18 to 24 months. So you're going to impact the influx of capital and monies that will be flowing in the city, and that will, of course, impact the taxes, whether they be sales taxes or property taxes. And so besides the energy that it will create and the enthusiasm, I think it's got a lot of great economic benefits that we're looking forward to it.
Sir, talk to me about the supply chain logistics that you and the Brownsville Economic Development Council are going to have to work out.
Well, I think you have what I could call the network cluster of supporting cast of different types of industries that will do some of the parts, manufacturing, etc. You know, we haven't really defined all of that in its totality, but we know that it does come with a cluster of other types of manufacturing that are required, and not to mention the transportation of a lot of different parts from all over the world to get this project underway.
I'm speaking with Tony Martinez. He's the mayor of Brownsville, Texas. We're talking about the space pad, SpaceX commercial launch facility, which is slated to be constructed in his city. Sir, what types of incentives did Brownsville and the state of Texas offer to seal the deal with SpaceX? And did you face any resistance because of the environmental impact that site's going to have, particularly on that adjacent state park that's part of the Lower Rio Grande Valley National Wildlife Refuge?
Well, I had the good fortune of being invited to go watch a couple of launches in Florida, and quite frankly, the impact is negligible, and that's probably hard to imagine, but it's the truth. And so we had the FAA come through, and we had over 500 people attend those meetings, and quite frankly, out of all that, maybe we had 1 or 2 naysayers, but for the most part, even our director of the zoo that we have in Brownsville was in favor of this particular project. So I think it's been a thorough job done by the environmental people, and they don't find any impact that will be affecting that area. I think we've done a great job, and I think you'll see that the environment will not be affected.
Sir, you used the word negligible. As you know, negligible does not mean 100% without risk. Are you comfortable that the environmental impact will not have any detrimental effect on your town?
I'm certain of it. I really am, and I don't want to be overconfident, but I think that the amount of due diligence and all the investigation that we did, I happen to be a trial lawyer and have done a lot of environmental litigation. So I'm satisfied, and I think everybody else, all the organizations and all the agencies were likewise satisfied that, you know, when you say negligible, yes, it can mean a whole lot of things, but it is not enough to have any risk involved with it.
Mayor Martinez, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk said that not only will the Brownsville facility create jobs, he says it will inspire students. You have called the facility, quote, a barrier breaker. What are the educational benefits, and which barriers were you referring to?
Well, you know, I think what I'm like to kind of convey the message across to investors or business people or whatever is that, you know, we have a lot of great talent in our university there at the University of Texas, and a lot of the folks, once they get out of their formal education, they probably have to go somewhere else to look for jobs and make a living. And I think this will provide a beautiful time, not only for while they're in school, perhaps maybe do some work with SpaceX, but also thereafter is to come in and say, I'm not leaving the area. You know, a lot of people refer to it as a brain drain, and we won't have that happening with not only that, and hopefully other people will be coming in. So we'll be breaking barriers in a sense that we will be affording educational opportunities to a lot of different people.
Mr. Mayor, this facility is going to be located close to the Mexican border. Are you concerned about a possible influx of migrant workers seeking construction jobs to the detriment of local citizens who need work?
You know, the thing about it is, you know, the border security as we know it that are living down there in the area is actually quite good. This influx of children from Central America or the different adults that are coming through, they don't look and try to cross and not turn themselves in. So the worker situation, I think, is also a great opportunity for us to kind of address maybe some of the immigration reform that is perhaps up there in Washington. But I see no problem and no effort that has to be highlighted with regards to illegal immigrants coming across for that purpose.
Mayor Martinez, we have a little less than a minute left. The Johnson Space Center in Houston, it was born from the idea of conquering what President Kennedy called the new frontier of science and space. Do you consider the SpaceX site near Brownsville a new chapter in that frontier?
Without a doubt. I quoted President Kennedy's moon speech that he gave here in Houston back in September of 1962. I think we're exactly right there, and I think this is a great opportunity for Brownsville and for the state of Texas. And so I welcome all the challenges and opportunities that are coming our way.
And Mr. Mayor, just before we let you go, when do you expect the first launches?
Well, you know, construction is supposed to be 18 to 24 months. But I suspect the way this organization works, probably sometime about 18 to 19 months from now.
All right. Tony Martinez, the mayor of Brownsville, Texas, joining us from our bureau in Houston. Your Honor, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, Sotheby's opens its doors to the